Hi buddy, this is just Martin91 and I'm going to be quickly talking to you guys about Fantastic Beasts: Secret of Dumbledore, the third installment in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. This messy franchise that this is right now, or has been. I don't know. I enjoyed this one quite a bit, I'll be honest with you. And I wasn't expecting to. Not as much as I did. But let me elaborate. So the second one ended on a cliffhanger, and I felt like there were so many elements in the second one that didn't exactly translate well after the first film. I didn't like honestly, the first film and the second film were literally 2 years apart. They it really felt like they pumped out the second story because the first one was a great success, and they put out a very choppy script with, yeah, a lot of lore that they were trying to expand upon, with a lot of it actually counteracting the Harry Potter saga that we actually knew as more along the lines of the literature lovers as opposed to the movie lovers, because there's a lot more references in these movies right now that are coinciding with the books more than they're coinciding with the movies, because frankly the Harry Potter movies just are, if I'm gonna be honest, the Harry Potter movies literally capture 60%, if that, of the ginormous lore and expansion that could have been like the last four books. Sorry, last four books, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But we're not talking about Harry Potter here right now. This movie really tried to bring that charming aesthetic back. If I would compare it to any of the Harry Potter movies, I'd say tonally it's closer to 5 and 6. Of course, David Yates directed it, so at the end of the day, I would assume so. And the big thing about this one that stands out from the rest of them was that Steve Kloves, the guy, one of the screenwriters on the most of the original franchise, actually returned to help J.K. Rowling write this one. Till now, she was the only one writing the screenplay. As soon as he returned, I knew that there was probably going to be some sort of element that could probably aid this project. I feel like there was structural integrity here that really was met, but I also felt like there were elements from the second film that were, wound up for this film as a sequel to be a coinciding kind of story element that was going to probably span, I don't know, 2 to 3 movies, conflictions and resolves that were never going to arrive. And in this film, they kind of counteracted that. It was literally, I felt like it was a Last Jedi versus Rise of Skywalker moment, where Last Jedi literally took for the Force Awakens elements and tarnished it. And then Rise of Skywalker picked up the ashes and tried to reconfigure it into a story that made sense. But they distanced themselves from anything that Last Jedi was trying to do. They tried to kind of pick up elements and refurbish them into something to stand upon. But the thing is, that franchise, that was the last film. For this one, they have 2 more movies to go, as they are tied into a 5-movie contract. So they are literally paving themselves new ground right now. And I really hope that they have ideas for the future of this franchise, because at this point they have to be coming up with something. How this movie wrapped up, I was very content with, and I'm very intrigued on how they're going to be going on with it. I felt like the performances were absolutely amazing. Mads Mikkelsen does join the cast after everything that happened with Johnny Depp and how that was handled, which again, I don't agree with. But that being said, it gave a new flavor to the franchise, quite honestly, and to the character. And if I may say so, and the critics are also saying so, I'm not saying this because I'm agreeing with them. I've seen it for myself, and I can attest to this wholeheartedly. It gives the franchise a new flavor, and frankly, the play that goes on between Jude Law and Mads Mikkelsen is uncomparable. I can't I tried to visualize how this would have looked if Johnny Depp was in the role and how this would have been. I couldn't have seen it. And maybe there was revisions or rewrites, but frankly, looking at how this was filmed and everything, it didn't really feel like there was much of a time lapse between Johnny Depp leaving, Mads Mikkelsen getting hired, which merely was a week and a half to 2 weeks after, by the way. There was barely any time span. Because I'm assuming they were on a scheduled filming portion. I don't know. And they finished filming last spring. And they let Johnny Depp go in November. So, I mean, it felt like they barely got off schedule and there was barely any revisions and they just went with it. Now, that being said, this turned out in a way that I was absolutely satisfied by as a fan. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but it really brought back elements from the first film in Fantastic Beasts that I actually very much welcomed back. It had Easter eggs, lores, musical cues from the Harry Potter franchise, elements and elaborations about multiple things, and I was pleasantly satisfied, quite honestly, and I didn't expect to have that when I went into this. That being said, everybody has a right to their own opinion. If someone didn't like it, I mean, I'm very much happy to have conversations and debate and convince me, you know what, I'm very much open to those kinds of things. I didn't really spoil much here. The trailers more or less set up the plot of what this movie is about. It's essentially a huge conflict between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, which was built up for quite some time. And if you've read the Harry Potter novels, then you know that there are some very meaty things that were teased basically between them that is going to get an inevitable moment in the franchise. And this, I feel like, was the round up to that. I felt like this delivered a lot of things that I didn't expect to happen yet when it comes to a 5-movie franchise. But it is a very good start, and I'm very much looking forward to how they're going to transpire this thing. And I really hope that they're not going to let us down again, because after this one, it's a good enough start. And they got my vote again. And I truly hope that a lot of people see it that way. But hey, we'll see how it goes, right? Enjoy the movies, everyone. Let me know what you thought of this one, honestly. I'm very much hoping that this one gets everybody the kind of meaning and nostalgia and adventure and humor and all of the great stuff that, frankly, this one really just pulled it off. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and have a good one.